Hello, my name is Hope Thompson, and I'm a student in the School of Education at Liberty University. Today we will be discussing ethics and biblical worldview and the role they play in instructional design. Let's first begin with defining ethics. While there are a variety of definitions, I chose one from BBC 2014 which states, "Ethics are a system of moral principles and a branch of philosophy which defines what is good for individuals and society." Codes of ethical behaviors have been around since the creation of man and therefore are not common. However, as the use of technology in instructional design has increased, new concerns pertaining ethics has risen. The Association for Educational Communications and Technology, or AECT, is an organization for professionals with an interest in the use of technology and its application to the learning process. Klein and Rushby, 2018, page 222. Smaldonado and others, 2018, shares that the ACT has established a code of ethics for educational professionals and identifies 3 sections of professional commitment. They are commitment to the individual, commitment to society, and commitment to profession. The commitments previously mentioned align perfectly with the biblical worldview. Such commitment is represented in Micah 6:8, which reads, "He has shown you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and walk humbly with your God." When we let our ears hear God's truth revealed through Scripture, the Bible can be used to guide our actions. By doing this, we are creating a biblical worldview. The first section of AECT's Code of Ethics, Commitment to the Individual, refers to the professional's obligation to create a safe and welcoming learning environment. This section includes providing the appropriate technology and resources so that all learners can learn safely, refraining from stereotypes and insensitive behavior to embrace diversity, and ensuring individual protection as one's personal right. Smaldonado and others, 2018. Let's take a look at how we can show commitment to the individual. First, be sure to utilize a universal design for learning that allows for multiple means of expression and engagement from all students. Next, give opportunities for students to freely express ideas and ask questions, and offer thoughtful and kind responses. When students express different ideas and opinions that are different from us, make sure you're familiar with laws regarding student privacy such as FERPA and COPA laws. And finally, make sure you thoroughly investigate educational technology applications used in the classroom and they comply with student privacy laws. The second section, Commitment to Society, refers to the relationship between the professional and society. This section highlights the importance of representing yourself and your institution appropriately by being truthful, positive, and professional in communications. The delineation between personal and professional activity with regards to not using your position for personal gain, and also how one's obligation for professional service is withheld by striving to be fair and equitable in the way you serve in the community. Smaldonado and others, 2018. Here are some practical examples of how this commitment to society can be lived out in your work. The first way is by anticipating the needs of the students and providing support in your instructional design for all users, not just your typical users. Second, ensure equal access in the classroom for students and teachers. And make sure to choose applications based on the needs and data and not based on the potential of personal gain. Lynn, 2008. The final section of AECT's Code of Ethics, Commitment to Profession, refers to how a professional can become a proactive and responsible member of the profession. This includes the way one interacts with others, engages in research to support diversity, contributes to and advance the profession, as well as practicing ethical behavior with regard to copyright and informing others of their obligations with copyright. Smaldino and others, 2018. Here are some ways you can live out a commitment to profession in your work. When conflict arises between you and a colleague, make sure you conduct yourself professionally and courteously and use the proper channels to resolve the issue. Discuss best copyright practices with students and model those practices in the classroom setting by gaining permission to use technological property belonging to other individuals and citing it accordingly. And in your instructional design, make sure to provide clear instructions regarding your expectations for students using intellectual property in their assignments. Lynn, 2007, and Smaldino and others, 2018. To conclude this presentation, we will talk about scripture that shows us a biblical worldview as it pertains to the educational profession. As previously discussed, the commitment to the individual section of the AECT Code of Ethics refers to creating a welcoming and learning environment. Sometimes this means an instructional designer or teacher will need to put their personal wants and needs aside so they can fully embrace the needs of all their students. This idea is supported in Scripture in Philippians 2:4, which says, "Not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interest of others." In Section 2, commitment to society refers to the relationship between the professional and society. Romans 14:19 is an excellent example of this and shares, "Let us therefore make every effort to do what leads to peace and to mutual edification." Lastly, Section 3, commitment to profession, is about how a professional is seen within their organization and contributes to their profession. This commitment is related to Scripture in 2 Timothy 2:15, which reads, "Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who does not need to be ashamed, and who correctly handles the word of truth." This verse applies to our professional lives as well as our personal lives. We should live above reproach in all we do. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for joining me.